What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
This is the OPS pregame report.
And welcome live from Spartan Arena as we get set for tonight's 4A girls basketball showdown between the Homestead Spartans and the Warsaw Tigers. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Noah Johanningsmeier and sideline reporter Jenna Lane as we are about 7 minutes away from tip-off of tonight's matchup. And let's begin with the OPS pregame report. Noah, in the Spartans' last outing, they were upset by the Snyder Panthers after a back-and-forth showdown that ended in a 72-68 loss. And with that loss, Homestead drops in the SAC standings and grabs their second loss in the conference. Losing to Snyder might very well have pushed Homestead out of conference title contention.
Yeah, after that loss early on in December to Carroll in overtime, everyone knew the Spartans would have to play perfect for the rest of the season to come out as SAC champs. And that loss to Snyder really diminishes any hopes they had at getting a regular season SAC title.
Yeah, Homestead now finds himself tied at fourth, falling down one spot, switching places with Snyder. And Homestead was riding a 5-game winning streak heading into the Snyder game, but they had so many mistakes on Friday that they pretty much sealed their own fate to the tune of their first loss since January 2nd against North Central. What does Homestead need to improve on that they were struggling with against the Panthers last week?
Really, they just can't be as careless with the ball as they were last week. And you just got to make smart decisions with the passes and get good looks down low to Patterson, and everything will start to work out well for the Spartans.
And Noah, Homestead's already up to 5 losses on the season, and their schedule doesn't get any easier. As the regular season comes to a close, they still have to play this 14-4 Warsaw squad and Southside, who's first in the SAC. The Spartans are going to have to stay focused through the rest of January.
Yeah, they got 2 tough teams remaining in January. One good thing for the Spartans is they have 2 teams that right now are at the bottom of the SAC. So they do have a couple tough games, but they also have some games that they should be able to win.
Yes. At South Bend, St. Joseph, and Northrop, and Northside, really all those games, surely most people with Homestead winning those. Southside and Warsaw, that'll give Homestead some trouble if they aren't careful. And still ahead in the OPS pregame report, we're going to be taking a look at Homestead's opponent Warsaw along with updated standings in the SAC. The OPS pregame report continues after these messages.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
And welcome back to the OPS pregame report. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Noah Johanningsmeier. And Noah, let's take a look at the Warsaw Tigers, who have had a strong season so far at 14-4 and second in the Northern Lakes Conference behind Goshen. with their only losses being to that Goshen squad. Penn, Fishers, and Norwell, all solid teams. There's not many negatives you can take away from the Tigers.
Yeah, they're really off to a great start this season, and being led by Abby Sandner and Kenzie Ryman. Gonna be a fun game to watch tonight, Warsaw and Homestead.
In Noah, Warsaw, they have two weapons starting at guard tonight out of Grace College commit Kenzie Ryman and UIndy commit Kaitlin Krebs. The firepower in the backcourt is certainly coming, and Coach Barker is watching out for that tonight as they can catch fire quickly.
Yeah, that's something the Spartans will really need to focus on, guarding the perimeter and shutting down the guards of Warsaw.
Yeah, Warsaw has a lot of threats. Kenzie Ryman being one, Kaitlin Krebs, and Abby Sandner. Abby Sandner against Goshen had 13 points, Krebs 6, and Ryman 8, so they can definitely cause some trouble for the Spartan defense. And finally, Noah, let's look at the standings in the SAC as Carroll is now at the top at 5-0 with Southside just behind the Chargers at 4-0. Homestead, meanwhile, they swapped places with Snyder as the Panthers climbed to third, with Homestead falling to fourth and 4-2 in conference play.
Yeah, that win for Snyder over Homestead last Friday gonna be huge for Snyder and their hopes continuing on the season. And for Homestead, just complete devastation, looking for that SAC title, and its hopes are not looking good anymore.
Yeah, right now the SAC, it's pretty clear. Carroll and Southside have really proven themselves this year. With Carroll, they're at number 8 in Class 4A. Concordia at number 10 in Class 3A. They find themselves tied at 4th with the Spartans, Bishop Dwenger, then Bishop Lures, and then Wayne, Northrop, and Northside rounding up the bottom of the SAC. Northside, they've really struggled so far this season. They're a team that's going to have to go up against Homestead coming up this Friday.
Yeah, Homestead, Northside, not looking good for Northside in that game. Homestead has been playing great most of the month of January, excluding that Friday loss against Snyder. It's going to be interesting to watch Northside face off against the Spartans here on Friday night.
And Northside only has one win so far this year. It was in January against Canterbury, and it was on the road, which so far is Northside's only win. They stand at 1-17 and winless in the conference, which they've really struggled to win in the conference for the last few seasons, as their last conference win came last January against Wayne, and they lost that matchup against Wayne, so they're certainly looking to bounce back and find themselves with a victory in the SAC, but it probably won't come to the Spartans, who have really been dominant in their history in the conference.
Yeah, the Spartans and Northside, it's always going the Spartans' way, it seems, and really don't know what they can do, or what Northside can do against the Spartans. And just looking at the games tonight, Warsaw being 34th overall in Sagarin, and Homestead being 21st overall in Sagarin. It's going to be a fun matchup. Really looking to see if Warsaw continue their great start to the season, and if Homestead can bounce back from that loss Friday night against the Snyder Panthers.
Yeah, both these teams have had tough schedules so far. Homestead, number 7 in strength of schedule. Warsaw, 63. That's in Sagarin ratings. Warsaw, 14-4 on the season. Homestead, 11-5. Their first season in 8 years with more than 4 losses, but they're justified with number 7 in strength of schedule. And we're about to get set for tip-off. Homestead's looking to bounce back. The Warsaw Tigers are hoping to push the Spartan losing streak to 2 straight. Tip-off and starting lineups are next. It's Homestead versus Warsaw coming up.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brayden Carroll, joined alongside Noah Johanningsmeier. We're just minutes away from tip-off of tonight's showdown in Class 4A between the Warsaw Tigers and the Homestead Spartans. The Tigers, who are 14-4 in Class 4A, and the Spartans 11-5 and number 18 in the coaches' poll. This is a game that's certainly anticipated this week between two pretty solid teams that are looking to bounce back, as Warsaw's coming off a loss, and so is Homestead, with Warsaw coming off a loss to Goshen, and the Spartans to Snyder in a game that knocked them out of SAC championship contention.
Yeah, Homestead looking to turn things around after that Snyder loss last Friday.
And we're going to take it down to the court with Ayanna Patterson being credited for her 1,000-point milestone reached against Mishawaka Marion.
As Homestead High School head coach Rob Carter presents a commemorative ball to junior Ayanna Patterson, who had a game last week at Mishawaka Marion, surpassed the 1,000 career point mark here at Homestead High School. Have a big round of applause for Ayanna Patterson.
A huge accomplishment for Ayanna Patterson, only a junior, but already has surpassed the 1,000-point milestone at her career here at Homestead.
Yeah, already a great career so far for Ayanna Patterson. Just being a junior and scoring 1,000 points just shows why she is ranked number 3 in her class by ESPN, and shows her potential for the next year and a half for the Homestead Spartans.
Yeah, certainly a bright future for the 5-star recruit. And it's just the beginning for Ayanna Patterson. Tip-off coming up between Homestead and Warsaw. Should be a fun one. Two teams looking to bounce back after both suffering losses last week. And Homestead wins the tip-off. So it'll be Sullivan taking it up the court for the Spartans to try and start off the game with some points. Stevens, she's going to take the first 3 of the game off the back of the iron, no good. So Warsaw, they're going to take it up for their first possession of the game. Warsaw's a team that can really catch fire early. Now Stevens has it. Passes down low to Sanner. Right back to Stevens, and they're going to call her for a travel. First turnover of the game. Homestead will have the ball coming up. And Noah, taking a look at your FWO keys to the game. For Homestead, the Spartans need to control turnovers and make their free throws.
Yeah, Homestead definitely needs to control their turnover problem and have some good ball movement.
Had a lot of problems with that against Snyder. And for Warsaw, the Tigers need to control Patterson down low and force Homestead to push the pace beyond their comfort zone.
Yeah, definitely stopping Patterson is a main focus for any opponent against the Spartans, and right there, Patterson starting off with a nice bucket down low.
And Warsaw with it. Down 2-0 early in the game. Really working the perimeter to start this game off as Wayne has it.
Yeah, Warsaw going with the slow pace offense, looking for the best shot available.
That three-pointer taken by Stevens, just to the right. Gets the ball back though. Warsaw, they're a team that can control the rebounds. They almost have 30 rebounds per game. Homestead pretty dominant rebounds too with just above 34. There's Warsaw with another turnover. Fast break for the Spartans. Patterson down low, and she will go to the line. Warsaw shooting foul, and Patterson will be going to the line, taking the first trip for 2 free throws for Homestead.
Yeah, definitely not how you want to start the game off as a Warsaw Tiger, turning the ball over 2 times, and Ayanna Patterson scoring off of an offensive rebound and now shooting free throws.
Homestead, they're a team that struggles with turnovers, especially in recent games. Right now, they're averaging 61% from the charity stripe.
Yeah, knocking down free throws has been a problem for the Spartans all season long. Definitely need to work on that. That could cost them close games throughout the season and possibly in the tournament.
Patterson just went 0 of 2 from the line on Homestead's first trip to the free throw line, so that's Coach Parker definitely doesn't want to see Homestead start off like that. So now Warsaw on the attack. Grace College commit Ryman passes to Grimm. Just working it down low. Sander gets the shot to fall, and Warsaw, their first points of the game, it's 2-2.
Yeah, good possession there for Warsaw, but also great defense by Homestead. Warsaw really looking to get a shot off ball by off ball movement, but Homestead is playing great off ball defense, not allowing the shooters of Warsaw to get open.
A shot by Stevens, no good. Homestead, they've really struggled to shoot this season. They're at 31% from beyond the arc and 39% overall.
Warsaw once again, patient offense, just looking to get their shooters open, and just great off-ball movement by Warsaw, but Homestead has played great defense as well.
Now Wayne with it, and Homestead really is playing pretty close defense right now, not giving the Tigers any comfort room. Warsaw taking their time on this possession. As Ryman has it now. Grimm over to Wayne. Warsaw just passing things around, really taking their time and finding an open shot right now. Of course, no shot clock in Indiana, so they can take as much time as they need. Really, the only shot clock that they have is the 3:50 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Warsaw taking their sweet time on this possession, playing as patient as they can be. Homestead stifling defense right now, making this possession last forever. Warsaw not going to shoot it unless they are open. They know that eventually they will be able to find the open look.
And there's the open look down low, but no good for Grimm. So Homestead finally gets the ball back after a very lengthy Warsaw possession. Oh, and a pretty spin down low by Patterson, but her shot blocked from behind by Grimm, so Warsaw gets the ball back. Let's see if they speed things up here, and they will, as Wayne goes down low, but does not fall. So Homestead now, they find themselves on the fast break. And one, count it for Ayanna Patterson. She's going to the line again for the Spartans to try and convert the and one.
Yeah, great play there by Ayanna Patterson in the fast break. Homestead getting great looks in the fast break so far in this game by forcing turnovers. A key for Warsaw to be able to stay in this game is definitely going to be forcing turnovers against the Spartans and then getting out in the fast break. Their patient offense in the half court right now is just not working. Homestead's defense is completely shutting it down. Warsaw needs to get some looks in the fast break to get going.
Right now, Warsaw, they don't really seem to be relying on fast play. Seem to keep going pretty slow. That was a quick possession, though, for the Tigers compared to their 1-2 possessions ago. It lasted about 2 minutes. And another foul on a Patterson shot. Seems like that is the strategy for Warsaw, is to be pretty aggressive down low when Patterson has the ball, as she's going to the line again.
Right there on that possession, Patterson, it was great defense by the defender, shutting down the pass, but that was just Patterson being taller than the defender and just being able to go up and grab it over her and turn around and draw the foul when going up with it.
Yeah, Patterson, the 6'3" wing, the 5-star recruit, certainly pretty tough to guard her down low, so you almost have to be so aggressive that you're going to end up drawing fouls when you're trying to guard her in the paint. So far, a pretty slow-paced game as it's only 6-4 over halfway through the first quarter. Now Warsaw has it again. It's trying to open up some space. Down low, Sander takes a shot, no good. Spartans with it.
Even though that look for Sander didn't fall, I like that for Warsaw, feeding the post down low, getting good looks. Want to continue to do that. I think that will eventually fall and it will work out for the Tigers.
Right now, I mean, the pace of play that they're at right now is keeping the game close, at least, as it's 6-4.
Yeah, and all the missed free throws by the Spartans, which has been a problem all year, is also what is keeping this game so close.
Yeah, Homestead, we said in our keys to the game would be very important for them to hit their free throws, as that's something that they've struggled with so far this season. Early in this one, they've already missed a couple.
Yeah, and really just someone other than Ayanna Patterson needs to be able to get a bucket for the Spartans.
Right now, Patterson with all 6 points for Homestead. Yeah, 6-6 tie after the score down low by Sander for the Tigers. Here's Patterson again taking a shot, no good. It looks like the Lawrence North game almost, where it was exclusively Patterson getting the buckets in the first quarter.
Yeah, and on that last possession, it looked like Warsaw, just for that possession, transitioned into a zone, seeing Patterson out on the top of the key, collapse down low, and just were able to stop her down low, bringing multiple defenders.
Warsaw is already planning their defense around Patterson, which is definitely something that every team has to focus on when they play the Spartans. And Warsaw taking note of it early in this game.
Yeah, when the Spartans are able to win with ease, it's normally when their game becomes two-dimensional and we see either Molly Stock or Allison Stevens get hot from beyond the arc. But when they aren't knocking down shots from beyond the arc and Patterson is their only source of scoring, it is not as successful for the Spartans.
Tipped out by Sullivan, but it'll stay with the Tigers. Once again, another long possession for Warsaw.
Yeah, and Warsaw is just shooting 50% so far in this first quarter. Just really have not taken that many shots compared to the Homestead's 9 shots, only making 2.
Yeah, both teams not shooting the highest percentage so far, as that three-pointer misses for Ryman. And another lengthy Warsaw possession is going to end up in 0 points, as Homestead going to take it up the court with just about 22 seconds left in the first. Pretty low-scoring game so far, 6-6 all.
Yeah, now Homestead looking to hold for the last shot. I would say go either down low to Patterson here or look for a three-pointer, trying to get something open.
And they do go to Patterson down low, but she passes out, and now Stock with it. She tried to pass down low to Austin, but time runs out. And at the end of the first, it's 6-6 all. Close game. You'll want to stay tuned to see how this one unfolds. We've got a fun one.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Spartan Arena. Score 6-6 at the end of the first. If you like slow offense, this is your game as Homestead right now, not shooting the highest percentage from the field.
Yeah, shooting 2 for 9 overall, not making a three-pointer, and missing multiple free throws. That's just your key to failure, really, for the Spartans right now. And one thing that, as a little bit of a surprise, is Homestead barely turned over the ball, if they did in that first quarter, but they still weren't able to build up a lead. They just need to be able to knock down shots. And with Warsaw, I really think they need to pick up their pace. This slow-paced offense did not work for them in the first quarter. They need to pick up the pace and look to get easy buckets.
Really, both teams need to pick up the paces. It was a very slow first quarter, resulting in only 12 total points between these two teams.
And Homestead there on that possession, switching to a zone, knowing that off-ball offense movement by Warsaw was really just taking forever every possession and wanted to force some turnovers, and right there it worked successfully.
Yeah, much needed halt to Warsaw's offense, which has really controlled the pace of the game so far. So now Homestead on the attack. Stock with it, down low to Patterson. Back to Stock. Takes a shot down low and lost control of it. I believe it was tipped down low by Stevens. Off of the Spartans, so Warsaw will have it now. Still 6-6.
Now this zone trap defense by the Spartans are really looking to force some turnovers.
That three-pointer by Stevens, no good, but Warsaw with the rebound. Passing around, finds wide open Ryman off the extra pass, no good. Patterson with the rebound, Spartans running the fast break. She's gonna slow it down a little bit. Down low to Austin, her shot down low gets it to fall, and the Homestead Spartans reclaim the lead 8-6. And a sloppy mistake and miscommunication between Bailey Stevens and Kenzie Ryman as that ends in a turnover. Those were much needed points for the Spartans on that last possession.
Yeah, this zone trap defense putting pressure on the Tigers, and they do not know how to handle it right now. Going perfectly to Coach Rod Parker's plan. Perfect call by Rod Parker to go to that zone defense.
Right now it has been all about the defense for Homestead, as they were having a bad defensive game. They'd be in a lot of trouble right now, only with 8 points through the first 10 or so minutes of this game. Oh, and a great pass as she was going out of bounds to Sander, but her shot does not fall, so now Homestead with it.
Yeah, all these shots that Warsaw is finding wide open, they're going to need to begin to knock down.
And Homestead finds a wide open shot of their own, and they get it to fall. That's Stevens from beyond the arc. Her first points of the game. Homestead up 11-6 now.
Yeah, that's really what was missing in the first quarter for the Spartans. The three-point shooting, just no one was able to knock one down. And right there, that's going to be a key if the Spartans can continue to grow the lead.
And Warsaw, they respond to that three-pointer with a three of their own. That's Kenzie Ryman, the Grace College commit, getting her first points of the game as well. Seems like after a slow first quarter, both teams starting to speed it up as Stevens takes another three off the back of the iron. Now Warsaw with it. And both teams really taking a lot of threes in the last couple of minutes. Ryman misses that shot. It seems to be back and forth between Stevens and Ryman from beyond the arc. But there's Patterson down low on the fast break for Homestead. A great pass by Grace Sullivan to get it down to Patterson down low.
Yeah, when you play zone defense, it just changes the mindset of the offense. They see themselves open, but then they're getting trapped right away, and that's why Warsaw's been chucking up contested threes so far in this second quarter because of the great zone defense by the Spartans so far.
That defense just disrupted Warsaw again down low. Could barely get the shot off there. Double teamed in the paint. Jump ball off the pass to Patterson.
Alternating possession, the Spartans.
A good defensive game plan by Warsaw, trying to shut down Ayanna Patterson, having one girl over her denying the ball, and then one always ready to come help on the backside. It's really kept her somewhat quiet so far in this game.
Well, that's Patterson down low on the putback, and she gets her 10th bucket of the game. She's already up to double digits before the half.
Yeah, for Patterson, all of her points really coming off of the fast break and offensive rebounds. Just need to control the offensive glass if you're the Tiger, or defensive glass if you're the Tigers, or else you will not be able to stay in close with this Homestead Spartan team.
Yeah, Patterson, who averages a double-double at 20.9 points per game, 10.6 rebounds per game. You certainly need to control the paint on the defensive end when you're playing against Homestead. And so far, Warsaw struggled to maintain control in the paint on the defensive end.
Warsaw once again slowing down the pace, seeing Homestead starting to run away with it, slow it down, get the good look, and right there knock it down.
And that was a much-needed basket for Warsaw. They've gone on a little bit of a cold stretch since their last three-pointer by Ryman. But that one goes right in for Warsaw. Makes it a one-possession game. Patterson can't respond on the other end, so Warsaw with the opportunity to tie this one up. Yeah, foul called inside, a push on Allison Stevens. So an inbound coming up underneath the basket for Warsaw.
Even though it has worked somewhat for Warsaw, I don't think they should fall in love with shooting the three quite yet. It really almost fell them out of this game, but it did bring them back in. But I think they should continue going down low and getting good drives to the basket.
Right now, Warsaw still trying to find their identity on the offensive end. There's another turnover for the Tigers. That's Patterson who forces it.
Patterson, just great defense right there, just showing how great overall she is in her aggressiveness, just ripping that ball away from Warsaw.
And right now, Warsaw, they're really struggling to get things going on both sides of the court as Kinsley gets a shot for the Spartans.
Warsaw realizing that maybe if this pace picks up, they won't be able to stay in contention with the Spartans, so they are slowing it back down, trying to get the great looks that they got in the first quarter.
Right now, the paint has been causing issues for the Warsaw defense as Kinsley exploited on that last Spartan possession, and Patterson has also been having a great game down low. It's a 30-second timeout called by Warsaw. 17-12, Homestead has the lead in this low-scoring game with just under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. And it's really been all Spartans in the second.
Yeah, the main difference I see in this game is just that Homestead's been able to get out in the fast break and score, while Warsaw has not been able to do that. That's why Homestead has the lead right now.
Right now, Homestead really has been able to maintain their hold on this game here in the second quarter with a 5-point lead. Warsaw trying to cut into that lead. Now Warsaw with it on the offensive end. They might need to speed things up here with under 2 minutes left. Only with 12 points so far in this one. Just haven't had much firepower on offense so far. And coming up at the half, we're going to interview Coach Parker, have some first half stats and stars from the first half of play, along with news in the SAC. That's coming up in the OPS halftime report. You'll want to stay tuned for that one. 90 seconds left in the second. Homestead up still 17-12.
I think this is a pivotal 90 seconds in the rest of this ball game. Really, right now, Warsaw looking to cut into the lead, and really, with how slow their offense is, I don't see their potential to come back from down 10 if they get down 10.
Molly Stock hits the 3, extending Homestead's lead to 8 now. Warsaw, they need to get something going. They're going to try with the 3 here and gets it to fall. That's Bailey Stevens from beyond the arc. Quick response for the Tigers. And Stock immediately on the other end, back and forth between these two teams from beyond the arc, and it's 23-15, just like that.
Right in these last 30 seconds, teams matching half of their first quarter performances.
Yeah, very fast-paced couple of possessions between both those teams, and jump ball forced by Homestead, as Warsaw caught on some happy feet there.
Yeah, and those 2 threes by Molly Stock back-to-back, huge threes for the Spartans, continuing to grow the lead before this first half comes to close.
That inbound did not go the way that Coach Kreis would have liked it to go, as that's a turnover tipped by Maggie Kinsley. So with 33 seconds left, Homestead might just hold for the final shot of the half here.
If they're going to hold for the final shot here, I think you go to the hot hand right now, Molly Stock, after knocking down back-to-back threes. See if she can make a third straight to head into the half with a double-digit lead.
And she's the one with it now. Passes back to Solid. Oh, she almost lost it there. Stock in the corner. Now Patterson with it. Takes a shot, no good. Kinsley with the rebound. Opportunity for a shot, and that'll end the first half. A jump ball called, so no foul there. Homestead up 23-15 to end the first half. And we're going to take it down to Jenna Lane, who's with Coach Parker after one half of play. Jenna?
Thanks, Brayden. I'm here with Coach Rod Parker. And Coach, you're currently up by 8 points, and that's a low-scoring game in the first half. So how do you expect to get going offensively against the tough defense?
Well, there's 2 things. We got to make sure defensively we apply a little bit better ball pressure. Warsaw right now has had some very long, deliberate offensive possessions. And then on offense, we got to make sure that we work the ball just a little bit on our end to make sure we get high-quality shots. I thought we shot very quickly on 3 or 4 possessions, and then forced to turn right back around and play a long defensive possession.
All right, thank you, and good luck in the second half. Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Jenna. Solid defensive half for the Spartans as they hold Warsaw to just 15 points. And we're going to go to a break after one half of play. Homestead up 23-15. The OPS halftime report coming up.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
Welcome to the OPS Halftime Report here from Spartan Arena after one half of play, with Homestead holding on to an 8-point lead, 23-15. And for both teams, it wasn't the best game offensively, with mainly the defense controlling things, especially for Homestead.
Well, mainly the difference in this first half was just turnovers. Homestead was able to get out in the first break and get easy points in the fast break while not turning over the ball once, which we said from the beginning that's going to be a main factor to the Spartans' success, not turning the ball over, and it paid off in that first half.
Yeah, Homestead really holding on to the ball, something that they needed to work on. They certainly have been so far with no turnovers through one half of play. And let's go to our star players in that first half, with Molly Stock, who hit a couple crucial three-pointers to extend the Homestead lead in that second quarter, and Patterson, who's had a great game down low.
Yeah, Patterson putting up 10 points, even with Warsaw completely strategizing to stop her, and Molly Stock knocking down two crucial threes to continue to extend the Homestead lead at the end of that first half.
Yeah, two players who have been crucial to Homestead's current 8-point lead that they find themselves in, both at 16 of Homestead's 23, really helping Homestead in this one so far. In Warsaw, they have really struggled to get things going on the offensive end in this one.
Yeah, really just could not get things going. Knocked down a couple threes in the second quarter that really kept them in the game, but things are going to have to change in this second half for Warsaw to have a chance. With their slow-paced offense, it's going to have to completely change for them to have an ability to come back in this game.
And we're going to go to break, but stay tuned for the rest of the OPS Halftime Report. Homestead up 23-15 at the half. Stay tuned.
Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS Halftime Report.
And welcome back to the OPS Halftime Report. And now we're going to get into some news around the SAC. It's been an eventful week, as first off, a big win for Snyder against the Spartans on Friday, as the Panthers handed the Lady Spartans their second conference loss of the season, potentially knocking Homestead out of SAC title contention.
Yeah, huge win for the Lady Panthers, and really just a devastating loss for the Spartans. Really were looking to compete for the SAC regular season title and just were not able to do it.
Yeah, and Snyder, with that win, that pushes them to the potential of finding themselves contending for the SAC title, as now they stand at third and only one game or one loss behind Carroll and Southside. And moving on to Homestead boys basketball, they have a huge test coming up this week against number 2 Lawrence North, which will be Homestead's biggest game yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game for the Spartans coming off of that huge win last week against Blackhawk. Going to be really fun to watch on Saturday. See if they can be able to defend their undefeated record and battle against Lawrence North.
Yeah, Homestead's had a tough stretch of games in the last couple weeks, including Blackhawk Christian, and it just gets even tougher with number 2 Lawrence North, who's also ranked in the top 15 by Max Preps in the nation. So that'll be an interesting game to watch on Saturday. Moving back to girls basketball, a statement win for number 8 Carroll, who defeated number 12 Carmel and now stand at 16-2. They've really proven themselves this year.
Yeah, great win for Carroll. Definitely huge factor for them, and just comparing the Carmel game early on in the year against Homestead, Carmel just ran away with it. It just shows how great that Carmel team is, and huge statement win for the Carroll Chargers.
Yeah, solid win for Carroll. They're just one game away from Southside in the SAC standings. So they've really found themselves in a great position to not only make some noise in the SAC, but in the Class 4A playoffs coming up next month. And right now, what are the keys to the game for Warsaw if they want to find themselves back in it in this second half?
Well, they have to force turnovers on these Spartans. This Spartans team is a team that normally does not take care of the ball that well, but this first half they did it perfectly, no turnovers. And if Warsaw can get out in the fast break, get some easy points to start off the half, they could really earn their way back into this game.
Warsaw, they're going to need to get it going on both ends of the court. Down 8 in what has really been a low-scoring game. And what does Homestead need to do to maintain the lead that they have over the Tigers?
Well, just the opposite. Just make sure you don't turn over the ball and continue to play great with it, and definitely continue to play the stifling defense and intense defense that they played in the first half. That zone that they went to in the second quarter is really what turned up the Spartans and brought this lead. I think they should continue with that zone in the second half. And overall for the Spartans, just continue to look down low for Patterson, and if that's not open, find Stock or Stevens open for three.
Yeah, you mentioned turnovers. It's really surprising to see the Spartans at 0 turnovers in one half. Certainly something Coach Parker put an emphasis on over the weekend after that loss to Snyder, in which Homestead turned it over almost every other possession, and that ended up being a 72-68 loss. But they've really improved after a weekend to think about that loss to the Panthers. And we're going to go to a break, but stay tuned. The second half of Homestead Warsaw coming up right after this. Back, Homestead up 23-15 after one half of play. The second half coming up, and the Spartans are going to start off with possession, looking to start off the second half by extending their leads to double digits. They get to Patterson down low. It's really been the emphasis of this Spartan offense, and she misses that first shot. Fights for the rebound, and a jump ball called. So first 17 seconds, already Homestead pushing the pace a little bit. But it's going to go to Warsaw after that one.
Yeah, Patterson was dominant down low there, just could not get it to go, and then almost got the offensive rebound before it just barely went out of her hands, and jump ball going to Warsaw.
Now Warsaw with their first possession of the second half, and it ends up by a turnover forced by Grace Sullivan. And the fast break disrupted by Ryman, but Homestead will have it down low after forcing the first turnover of the second half. It's Warsaw's 9th turnover of the game. Kinsley down low, misses the shot, so Warsaw gonna have it now. It's Ryman taking up the court, driving inside. That's to Wayne. And now Sander takes a shot, no good. The mid-range jumper hitting the iron, and now Homestead with it.
Yeah, no scoring so far in this second half, and it's really just because of the great defense by both teams, and expect that to continue.
There's Patterson getting some points for the Spartans. Their first points of the second half. Like you said before that, No points between the two teams in the first minute and a half of play.
But for Patterson back there on that mid-range fadeaway jump shot, to be 6'3" and be able to knock that down is just huge, and her game is almost completely unguardable.
Yeah, she's had quite the game so far. 12 points, almost half of Homestead's points overall. And there's another turnover by the Tigers. That pushes them to double-digit turnovers in the game so far. A timeout called by Homestead. So right now, Warsaw, they have found themselves really struggling with turnovers.
Yeah, Warsaw been struggling with turnovers early on in this second half.
And Homestead Media is your source for the latest Homestead news, athletics, and more. Tune in every Friday to HHS In Depth for stories that affect our community and school. And check out future HHS live broadcasts for your #1 source for Homestead athletics. Just search Homestead Media on YouTube. Hey, now the timeout. Homestead's going to have it after another Warsaw turnover.
Yeah, and that last turnover by Warsaw being an unforced one. Just a mental mistake by Warsaw. Cannot let that happen if you want to come back against this great Spartan team.
Yeah, on Homestead, they can really take advantage off the turnovers, as they take a three-pointer right there, but no good. Rebounded by Sander, so Warsaw's going to have it, and they're pushing the pace. As Grimm has it down low, blocked by Patterson. So now Homestead, quick down the court. Patterson, a Euro step layup. She's up to 14. That was a pretty possession for Ayanna Patterson.
Yeah, that was a great possession for Ayanna Patterson. Going on the block and then the Euro step. Nice move. Good bucket on the other side.
She's really led this Homestead team so far. Warsaw taking a three. That's Ryman, no good. Patterson once again speeding down the court and gets the layup to roll around and in. She's up to 16 and Homestead's lead up to 14.
Yeah, nice touch there on the layup by Patterson. Got it to roll around and go in.
And a shoelace timeout for Warsaw.
Yeah, right now this timeout almost good for Warsaw with how things have been going. Homestead just completely forcing turnovers almost every possession right now and getting out in the fast break and getting buckets for themselves.
Warsaw, they really need some points. As Homestead, they are starting to really extend their lead, pushing the pace offensively. Warsaw, they were pretty slow in that first half, but they're going to need to get it going now. Stevens tries to open up some space, and a steal by Sullivan off the pass down low to Sanner. Sullivan to Patterson down low, and once again, Patterson getting the bucket inside the paint. Timeout Warsaw, and they need to gather themselves after a solid run here in the second half. Homestead up 31-15. They're extending their lead over the Tigers.
Rethink your limits.
And heading out of the timeout, Homestead up 31-15 over the Warsaw Tigers. A strong defensive game so far, and Homestead not much of a response, Warsaw not much of a response to Homestead's firepower that they've put together to start off the third quarter.
Yeah, really just finding Ayanna Patterson in the fast break is how the Spartans build up their lead so quickly in this third quarter. Ayanna Patterson right now on her own 8-0 run to start off this second half.
Yeah, she's really stood out in this second half, leading Homestead to a solid run. Warsaw trying to cut into that lead and stop what Homestead's put together through these first 4 minutes of the half. Sullivan almost got her hand in there again. She has had quite a few steals to start off this second half. And it'll end in a turnover for Warsaw. That's something that they have struggled with all game long.
Yeah, and it's really just started to happen in the second half. Turnover after turnover. Just miscommunication right now on the passes down low. Just not working for Warsaw. Something needs to change right now, or else this game will just continue to go up for the Spartans.
And now Homestead, they just seem unstoppable on the defensive end. Warsaw not really being able to get much going right now. Sullivan guarding Ryman from the perimeter. She's had a great game defensively. And she forces a steal right there. Grace Sullivan once again starting up a fast break. Stock hesitates, shoots down low, blocked by Sanner. Inbound coming up for the Spartans, but once again, Grace Sullivan forcing the steal. Luckily, Sanner able to stop Homestead from getting more points off the turnover.
Yeah, Homestead really just, their great defense has continued to the second half, putting pressure on Warsaw, and their great guards Warsaw have not been able to get into a rhythm all game long, and turnovers have been a constant for Warsaw in this second half.
Yeah, they've really struggled with minimizing their turnovers throughout the game, and there's Amber Austin with her first points of the game. Sorry, her first points of the second half as she's up to 4 points. Homestead extends their lead. They're up 33-15 now.
Yeah, that Amber Austin shot is really something the Spartans have missed all season long, with her being out due to injury all of the season.
As she returned to play in the Lawrence North game and scored 8 points last season with 4.9 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and 1.9 blocks per game. She was a huge factor to that squad that made it to the regional final last year. And Coach Parker sure is happy to have her back on the court. Patterson on the fast break, and a foul called on the floor.
Yeah, Homestead just looking to continue to build up this lead. Warsaw yet to score in these 6 minutes in the third quarter. It's really just complete domination by the Spartans in this second half, being able to force turnovers constantly.
Homestead's going to call a timeout. Coach Parker did not like how the inbound play was looking for Homestead. But right now he's got to appreciate how his team has played overall throughout this game, holding on to a 20-point lead.
Yeah, having a 12-0 run to start the second half is almost a dream for Rod Parker right now. Could not have envisioned a better second half start for the Spartans, and mainly just this has been because of Patterson and the overall great defense by the Spartans.
Homestead's defense certainly carrying them to their 20-point advantage over the visiting Tigers, with the key point of emphasis being forcing turnovers, which they've been doing all game long. Homestead just passing it around the perimeter. They can take their time with a big lead here in the second half. And Patterson spins down low and gets the shot to fall inside the paint. She's up to 20 points.
Patterson, just a freak of nature right now, scoring at the defense's will, unstoppable, and just right there drove into a triple team, threw up a little baby hook and made it fall.
Warsaw, their shot from beyond Ryman doesn't get it to fall, but they get the rebound. Yeah, right now Warsaw struggling defensively to stop Patterson. She's had a great game. And Warsaw, even through so far the third quarter, they just haven't had a response.
Yeah, 10 points in the third quarter, while Warsaw has yet to score. Just cannot let that happen.
Here comes another fast break for Homestead. Stock actually going to slow it down a little bit. 37 seconds left. The Spartans might just hold for the last shot and send it to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, right now you definitely got to just give it to Patterson and let her continue to work.
And Hillary Adams takes a three in the corner, and it swishes in. Her first points of the game, and Homestead's up to 40 over the Tigers.
Hillary Adams tying her season high right there with that three-pointer.
Hillary Adams, bench loves to see her get a shot like that to fall. Pretty shot by Hillary Adams. She had 3 points versus Huntington North and Dwanger. Looking to get a new career high tonight.
Yeah, and that right there, that pass possession for Hillary Adams just was so wide open because of the attention Patterson is now drawing from this Warsaw defense. Everyone right now is watching Patterson on defense for Warsaw.
And that final possession of the third quarter didn't really turn into anything for Warsaw. We head into the fourth. Homestead hanging on to a big lead over Warsaw, 40-15. Welcome back. The fourth quarter coming up between these two squads. Homestead up 40-15. Huge lead over the Tigers, who really have had no response so far in this second half.
Yeah, a third quarter to be a 17-0 run is normally just unheard of. And that's exactly what the Spartans did. Just were able to take over in that third quarter, being led by Patterson, and defensively, Grace Sullivan forced a couple turnovers.
Yeah, Warsaw, they just haven't had a response to Homestead, who's really gotten on a roll in the third quarter, and they're looking to continue it in this last quarter of play. Warsaw just kind of stuck in the corner right now. And they get out of it with a foul. That'll be on Evie Bottoms. Homestead, not many fouls so far. That's only their second foul of the second half.
Yeah, they've really been able to force turnovers without fouling. Great for the Spartans so far, and also Warsaw only has one foul, so really been a clean half overall in this first half, or second half.
Yeah, if anything, for Warsaw, what they've been doing cleanly is minimizing fouls. Because they only have one. Homestead also only has two. But other than that, Warsaw really struggling to keep things clean. They've had a lot of turnovers. That three-pointer off the back of the iron. And Homestead with the rebound.
Warsaw just looking for anything they can get right there, and finally they force a turnover.
And they can't get points off the turnover, miss the first few shots, but they'll go to the line. And although it wasn't the prettiest possession from the Tigers, they'll go to the line for the opportunity to get some much needed points, and they have gone on quite the cold stretch without any buckets.
Yeah, have not scored since that three-pointer at the end of the first half, near the end, by Bailey Stevens, and it's just not looking good for Warsaw at all right now. And just complete collapse. Almost shocking to see a great team like this, led by their guards, to just collapse in the second half and turn over the ball and not be able to knock down the shots that they were in the first half.
And Warsaw missed both their free throws there, so they're still on a cold stretch. There's nothing going offensively for the Tigers. Patterson takes a shot for Homestead. Misses, but they have the rebound. Kinsley takes a shot, gets her own rebound off the miss. Stevens takes the three out the front of the iron, no good. And really, Warsaw, I mean, it seems like it's taking everything to just get the ball. Homestead controlling the board offensively.
Yeah, Homestead getting everything they want offensively. The looks, they're getting wide open. Great looks for Patterson down low, and on the glass also, as you said, they're getting offensive rebounds constantly.
And Warsaw down low gets some much needed points. That is Bailey Stevens inside the paint. Warsaw now only down 40-17. And Stevens fouled on the corner three, so she'll go to the line for 3 free throws. A 71% free throw shooter. First in free throw percentage among starters.
Yeah, Warsaw on that last possession was finally able to end a 10-minute scoring drought. Just, you cannot let that happen if you ever want to compete against this Homestead Spartans team. And really just turnover after turnover in that third quarter is what led to this blowout for the Spartans.
And Homestead already just letting the bench work as Helmkamp checks in, along with Amber Austin. Really, Homestead, they found themselves with such a big lead with about 6 minutes left in the fourth. Up 43-17, not much to worry about if you're Coach Parker. Warsaw starting to pick up the pace a little bit on offense and blocked down low by Patterson. And a turnover forced by Warsaw. They get a shot down low, no good. And the putback attempt just short by Kenzie Ryman.
Just right there, that possession is what really just shows Warsaw's whole second half for me right there. To miss 2 wide open looks, definitely not how the second half was planned for Warsaw. Keeping it close for most until the very end. Homestead pulled away, and ever since they started to pull away, it's just been going down for the Tigers.
Timeout called by Coach Parker. It seems like the energy has just been sucked out of Spartan Arena. There's not much noise being made with Homestead holding on to a large 26-point lead, which they've had a big lead pretty much ever since the second half got rolling.
Yeah, really just the fans been silent all night. Just not much to cheer about if you're a Warsaw fan, but for the Spartans, they have been playing great. Got out in fast break, built up this lead, and that 17-0 run earlier on in this game, huge for the Spartans to build up this huge lead.
And Warsaw, they just haven't had much of a response to Homestead, who just continues to build on to their points offensively. And don't forget to catch the doubleheader coming up on Friday as the number 3 Homestead Spartans for the boys team goes up against Northside, and before that, this girls team from the Spartans will take on the Legends as well. That's coming up on Homestead Live and the .91 FM this Friday. You won't want to miss it. A lot of SAC implications for both teams who certainly aren't looking to lose in the conference. Of course, the boys hanging on to an undefeated record.
Warsaw finally getting shots to fall as Homestead's defense starts to back off a little bit. Really just Homestead's intensity when they picked up that zone in the second quarter just leveled up, and that intensity on the defensive end by the Spartans is what shut down Warsaw and led to this huge lead for the Spartans.
Yeah, Warsaw, they still haven't gotten much going. I mean, they've had a few points in this fourth quarter, but other than a few successful offensive possessions, they've really been stagnated by the Spartans. And there's a three by Kenzie Ryman in the corner. She's up to 9 points. One more than in her last outing against Goshen when she had 8 points for Warsaw.
Right now, Warsaw still believing in this game with 4 minutes left, down 20. They're looking for the open shot still, playing aggressive defense, fighting to try to get back in this one.
That's another turnover for the Tigers. They're down 20, and the majority of that can be credited to their 14 turnovers so far.
Yeah, and the 6 turnovers by the Spartans so far have really not affected the game that much, as Warsaw was not able to turn them into points like Homestead has been able to turn in the Warsaw turnovers into points.
The Warsaw have forced 6 turnovers, which isn't bad, but they just haven't been able to do anything offensively off of them. Meanwhile, Homestead, they've been thriving on the transition off of those turnovers, and there's another Spartan turnovers that pushes them up to 7 on the game. And Coach Parker is going to call a timeout with that turnover. And just about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Homestead up 20, 43-23 over the Tigers. Welcome back to Spartan Arena. Homestead up 43-23 with 3:19 left in the fourth. Warsaw ball after the timeout called by Coach Parker and the Spartans. Warsaw just looking to get a confidence boost in these final minutes of the game. Probably not going to come back down 20, but no reason to stop trying if you're Coach Krebs in this Warsaw team.
Yeah, just keep playing hard and trying to fight their way back into this game, even though hopes really are starting to quickly go down 20 with 3 minutes left. Just find the open looks and play good defense and finish out this game with some confidence.
It's a foul on Molly Stock. Just the 5th foul of this 6th foul, correction, of the second half for Homestead, and just Molly Stock's first. Warsaw tries to push the pace offensively. Out to Ryman. She takes a deep 3 and gets it to fall. Kenzie Ryman. She's up to 12 points. The only Tiger in double-digit points tonight.
Yeah, Warsaw being able to still play with confidence, down 20, knocking down some threes late in this game.
But there's Homestead responding immediately. That's Allison Stevens in the right corner for 3 points. And Homestead's lead right back up to 20. Down low, blocked by Austin, but saved by Warsaw, and it'll turn into some points. It's Lauren Grossi getting 2 in the paint for the Tigers. And Stevens on the other end rejected by Bailey Stevens. Stevens blocks Stevens. Now Warsaw with it. Down low, Warsaw starting to work the paint a little bit here in the fourth quarter. Haven't really been doing it all night long, but it seems to be working now. Yeah, right as I say that, turnover forced. That's Stevens getting the steal.
Yet another turnover for the Spartans, or for the Tigers, forced by the Spartans. Really the storyline of this game.
Yeah, 15 turnovers for the Tigers. They have really struggled to maintain hold of the ball, and Homestead has really taken advantage of that. Minute 19 left in the fourth. Homestead probably just going to slow things down a little bit. But Warsaw forces the turnover there, so they might push the pace and keep this game going. Minute left now, and Homestead forces a turnover of their own. It looks like they're just passing it around now, 43 seconds left. Maybe get somebody a bucket here. And it's Freem who's going to take a 3 in the corner, no good. Rebounded by Warsaw. Taking it up the court, 30 seconds left. It's Hatfield. Passes to Taylor, just Warsaw trying to get some points to end the game. The free throw line jumper goes in.
2 points in the whistle.
And with 10 seconds left, that'll probably do it. Homestead just gonna hold it here. And Warsaw forces a turnover to end it. But either way, Homestead gonna win 46-30 over the Tigers, and they are back on the winning end after the loss to Snyder. And Jenna Lane is with Ayana Patterson after her solid game tonight. Jenna?
Thanks, Brayden. I'm here with junior Ayana Patterson, and Ayana, a 17-0 third quarter put the game away. What did you guys change defensively after halftime?
We just had to bring the intensity and just bring a team chemistry and not trade buckets. So just keep working hard and getting back on defense. So that's something really we worked on hard.
And after the tough loss last Friday night, you guys responded against a good opponent tonight. Is this a type of effort you wanted to come back with tonight?
Yes, definitely, just to redeem ourselves and keep go into the postseason with good energy and good effort.
And we've seen Amber Austin back on the court 4 times now. What does her presence bring to the team?
Oh, just her defensive presence, and it just opens up the floor so much. So, I mean, just getting her looks and inside is just easy touches.
And only 4 games left in the regular season. What do the Spartans need to work on to gear up for the postseason run?
We just have to keep working our intensity and bring it every game. So that's really something we need to work on going into the postseason.
Thanks, Ayana.
Thank you.
Brayden, back to you.
Thank you, Jenna. Certainly a solid victory for Homestead as the playoffs get closer. We're going to head to a break. Stay tuned for the OPS postgame show after Homestead's 46-30 victory at home over Warsaw. We'll be right back.
This is the OPS post-game report.
And welcome to the OPS post-game report after Homestead's 46-30 victory against the visiting Warsaw Tigers. And really, it was all about Homestead's defense, who just completely shut down Warsaw.
Yeah, in that third quarter, just forcing turnovers constantly and getting out in the fast break was the key to the Spartans' blowout victory over the Warsaw Tigers.
They're forcing 16 turnovers. Homestead, they're usually the team that has the most turnovers in their games, but they really improved tonight, only having 9 turnovers against the Tigers.
Yeah, they really fixed up that problem that they had against the Snyder Panthers in their last game in that loss, and were able to turn that around and win this game.
This is a solid game from Homestead, a lot of improvement made. And your stars for the game, Molly Stock and Ayanna Patterson, who both really stepped up and played a key role in Homestead's 16-point win.
Yeah, along with those 20 points for Ayanna Patterson, also 14 rebounds. Great game from her, key to victory for the Spartans for sure.
Ayanna Patterson with 20 points, 53% shooting, and 14 rebounds. Yet another double-double for the 5-star recruit, who is now up to 8 double-doubles in her last 10 games.
Yeah, great for Ayanna Patterson, continuing to dominate for the Spartans, and tonight she led them to victory over the Tigers.
Overall, just a great game for the Spartans, and we're going to wrap things up here from Spartan Arena. Your final score once again, Homestead 46, Warsaw 30. For Noah Johanningsmeier and the entire Homestead Live crew, this is Brayden Carroll saying so long from Homestead, and we'll see you again this Friday. This has been a presentation of Homestead Live.